First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to all of the inductees past and this year's induction group. It's made up of guys that I've been looking up to and remembering from my early days starting out at Catamount, you know, Bugsy and the Casella car and Freddie DeCero and all the Canadians, Cabana and Manny, and from across the lake, Charlie Trombley and Bill, you know, Dick Nephew, Bill Wimble, those guys, you know, they were just great and they were my heroes. But we're here to kind of get another guy into this thing. I think Dick, as it turns out, is probably the first of our group, which kind of in a little bit later history than some of the earlier guys. We're kind of mid-60s on to this point, and as far as I'm concerned, Dick probably retired maybe a little bit earlier than we all wanted to see. He certainly probably could be doing it still without a problem, but we understand. So we'll get started. When I got the call last Sunday to be Dick's presenter for induction, I wasn't sure if I was the right person to do it, but firstly, I'm not really that comfortable getting up in front of groups like this, and secondly, you know, he said 5 minutes worth of talking, and that'll come hard too. But I think Dick and I can probably help everybody that wants to get home to the Super Bowl today by cutting it short. So, you know, there's so much to be said about him. I'm sure I'm only going to cover just a little bit of what he did in his career, and I'll try and hit on some of the things I remember. But Dick and I spent the better part of 20 years of our summer months racing against each other somewhere. Seemed like every paved track that existed in New England, New York, Pennsylvania, down to Dover, Delaware, and north of the border from, excuse me, from Toronto to Montreal to the Maritimes of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. We raced each other at one time or another. He and I didn't always see things the same way. And he was Irish and I was a French Polack, and I don't know who could be more stubborn, him or me, but through it all, we remained good friends. He was very opinionated and famous for his down east wit and one-liners. And we had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun those years on the road, and it's something I'll never forget. 95 really marked the last active season of racing for Dick. Nowadays he can be found traveling up and down the main turnpike behind the wheel of one of his trucks, probably with a cigar going. But the cargo has changed from fish to Dick's hauling logs now. And he said they smell a lot better and they don't spoil nearly as quick. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Irish Angel, Dick McCabe.
I want to thank you people for coming in. I want to especially thank Bobby. He owes me that because he's probably the one that made me sweat the most when I was racing. He talks about aggressive. When you had him behind you, you had your hands full and then some. But I'm not going to bore you with all the gory details. I just want to thank everybody, and especially all these people that were inducted into this. Like everybody says, they do. The crew is a big part of it. My sister and brother-in-law and my daughters, my wife and my nephew and a friend of mine, Ray Jansen, and a lot of these people who had crew members that were with them through the whole season, their lifetime career. Some of them stayed. They have a lot to do with the success of these teams, and it's kind of too bad that they should get more recognition too. That's all I want to say. Thank you.